So there's been a lot of controversy lately over some bans that have been handed out. Now, these bans were handed out to a specific group that shall not be named, and it has started a heated debate between StarCitizen backers, devs, and orgs. So let's just dive right in. I'm doing this unscripted. I have a few things to say, and there's been some people that have been putting out YouTube videos that I think are complete garbage. So I'm actually going to review one right now. Let's check it out.
Welcome, fellow cephalopods, to another Party Squid video.
Just to give you guys like a... Should I be having a Miller Lite in this? No?
Here, just leave it.
Okay, whatever.
You may have heard that members of a well-known organization called GrieferNet have caught some bans recently.
All right, pause it. So this video is from Party Squid. Just to give you some context here, what this video is all about. GrieferNet torped an 890 jump of a bunch of people role-playing, and they all got banned for it. So Party Squid here makes a video about it. He has some thoughts. I actually like the guy. He's a good dude, but I completely disagree with his thought process, and I think this video is completely garbage. Now, I'm not sympathizing with GrieferNet at all here, but I just want you to have your own opinion, and I'm going to give you some facts. I don't know where this guy's getting his information from. I don't know where you're getting your information from, but I'm telling you exactly what happened, and let's take it from there. All right, hit it.
So as you know, I do design, organize, and run massive multi-org event scenarios and events just about every month.
All right, so apparently this guy runs events, and he's good at it. So let's move on.
Now, all of these events, or almost all of them, require 50, 60, up to 100, or maybe sometimes even more people to carve out time in their schedule to make sure that we can do our party formation, get a launch going, get the event set up.
All right, so he's right. There's a lot of prepping and planning that go into it, and even CIG knows this.
Now, GrieferNet is an organization formed with the express purpose of making sure these events do not go off. Now, before we pull out all the pitchforks, and trust me, there's going to be time for that later, I tried to take a charitable look at GrieferNet and see if there's any value at all that can be ascribed to, this organization's existence and purpose.
Yes and no. So GrieferNet's main goal is to make you realize that you didn't sign up for a PvE only game. You signed up for a game that has PvP in it, and it's an open world game.
I think the reason that it started, and really the the only crumb of charity that I can provide to it, is that they want to make the PU dangerous, and they want people to have to actually hire security to do special big things in the universe.
All right, let's just be real here. So without all that fuzz, GrieferNet is legitimately role-playing the bad guys, just like these other guys are role-playing sightseeing around the verse in their dollhouse in an 890 jump. This is fluff to me. Their org name is called GrieferNet. They want everybody to know that they're the bad guys, and they want the fame. Like, that's roleplay to me. I'm all for it. I could care less.
The individuals who are affected by this ban simply receive the consequences that we all knew were coming for them. I'm surprised that they're surprised. Let's put it that way.
The reason that they're surprised is because of the email they got from CIG, which is completely open-ended, and honestly means that the shit that I do every day in the verse could get banned. I could get banned for it. So, that's why they're surprised. So that's coming in a later video. I have emails that haven't been published yet. I have CIG comments that haven't been published yet by anybody. So hang on tight.
StarCitizen is a small pond, and logging in and firing a single torpedo to kill a ship that you knew would be at a certain location at a certain time because you roleplay as a spy by clicking Discord's server invite.
Okay, so let me now describe to you what actually happened. So there is an event called The Experience. It is a roleplay tour around the verse in an 890 jump. They actually have a website for this that anybody can join. You just have to pay for it. These experienced people are role-playing in an 890, and you have GrieferNet role-playing the bad guy. I don't see a difference here. They're not stream sniping or anything. They put a guy in the experience, they pay for it, they have their location, and then they go and torp it. I don't see the big deal here. And I don't see why, if you're that naive and you're that dumb to think that, like, your dollhouse 890 jump is safe, you're stupid. If you're role playing that hard to have people pay to get on your 890 jump, then you should role play to have some security. And I'm not talking like Atlas Defense Force or Nova or BSI. Like, get a PvP org, like someone that could take down GrieferNet. GrieferNet is not that good. Like, they have maybe 3 good pilots. Maybe hire some decent pilots from the PvP community to go protect you. It's black and white to me. But no, these guys were so engulfed in their roleplay that they only would allow 2 Redeemers and 2 Hammerheads for their protection. And we all know that Hammerheads and Redeemers are PvE ships. You might ask, why Hammerheads and Redeemers? Well, it's because light fighters just didn't look pretty around the 890 jump. They could have at least established a perimeter around the 890 jump, or even just put some scouts at a few OMs. But no, for the sake of roleplay, we're just going to have Hammerheads and Redeemers. And on top of that, I've actually had people from AVS and some other groups say GrieferNet supplies us business. Like, it gives us our game loop as PvPers. We play the game just to fight. Like, that's why we're here. So if we know an event's probably going to get griefed by GrieferNet, we're all for it. We want to fight it. We want to... Yeah, anyway.
This is basically the concept of a cheater brand, which is a brand or entity that tries to shortcut themselves to fame, reputation, relevance by offering nothing and instead simply, wiping their ass on a piece of museum art because they know it'll get their name in the newspaper.
Okay, cheater brand? Like, get the fuck out of here with this Urban Dictionary nonsense. Honestly, bro, like, they do a really good job at being the bad guy, Mystique, having Reddit freaking talk about them 24/7, thinking they have like third-party hack clients and all this other shit. Like, yeah, are they shitters? They are. But honestly, they build their name very well and people are scared of them, like legitimately scared of them. They're doing a good job at it. And also, so this 890 was hit from an eclipse from 12 kilometers away. That's freaking ridiculous. I actually have a video of it, so let's just play it. Hold up, pause. So I really want you to see how long this torp takes to hit, but it's kind of boring, so I'm going to play some GrieferNet comms in the background just for fun.
Why the 890 out with this fucking torpid?
I'm going to the pilot seat right now.
They'll try to sneak over the security.
Oh, it's discovered! Discovered!
I'm setting my spawn.
Yeah, set your spawn. And then it's like a Mugas. Set your spawn.
Set your spawn.
That torp was in the air for 28 seconds. So for anybody out there who's actually decent at like combat in the game, do you know how slow a torp flies from an eclipse? Just one person in an arrow can shoot down an eclipse missile, I mean, easily, especially if it's from 12 kilometers away. Like, this is a complete joke. Here's the role player's perspective. Now, if you watch the clip, you'll be able to hear the missile like 15 seconds before impact.
Moment here.
Holy shit, there's lasers.
Somebody's popping off. What the hell?
Oh shit.
Never mind. It was really nice whilst it lasted.
Yeah, and it didn't last long because the experience is too incompetent to include security and counterterrorism in an open world game.
I'm looking forward to a game where the winners determine who leverages the in-game mechanics the best and not, the group that has the most fake Discord accounts for people whose gameplay is spent entirely outside of the game, clicking on server invites, role-playing like it makes them sort of puppet mastermind.
As for Discord infiltration and spies and stuff like that, that's completely legitimate gameplay, and there is a ton of orgs that do it. Even PvP orgs, even the top orgs that are fine and dandy. But this gives me a moment to harp back to what Party Squid said earlier about how much time it takes for these people to set up the events, because it actually takes just as much time to set up a good spy in a Discord and plan and prep and get all your guys ready to infiltrate an event and stuff like that. It takes a lot of time, if not just as much time, to infiltrate and pull off a heist like this. And also, I could go off on a tangent here and talk about, like, hey, I could just run across these guys in a verse who are role-playing an 890 that took 50 hours to create, and I torp it. And that could actually happen, too. But am I getting banned for it? No. Dude, shut up, bro. All right, let's keep on going.
Unfortunately, with this type of behavior, the net loss on the community leads to less people organizing operations, less people doing large group events in the verse, which leaves less action to be encountered by people who patrol the verse with the express intention of making it dangerous, but they do so in good faith using in-game systems and allow it to occur naturally. And that's what I do. That's what a lot of groups do. And there are plenty of CIG employees who spend their time doing that as well.
Okay, so what he's saying here is that GrieferNet is doing it to get their name in the newspaper, number one. That's actually what they want to do. Like, that's their main goal. They want to create fear. Number two, he's saying that the net loss, the repercussions here, is that there's going to be less people doing these events and having fun role-playing in the verse. That's completely false, and I'll tell you why. What's the percentage of PvPers to non-PvPers in the community? PvPers probably make up 1% of the whole entire community. I mean, maybe even less. So you have 1% of the community that's doing PvP. Out of that 1%, you have 0.0000001% that are GrieferNet, which is full of maybe 20 guys. I just don't see this being very realistic. Like, getting down to the brass tacks, this is a false claim. These guys have jobs, they have lives outside of video games too. Out of the amount of players that are playing StarCitizen, one org or one alliance of orgs or anything like that is not going to stop people from having events. Like, let's just be honest.
But they do so in good faith using in-game systems and allow it to occur naturally.
And thirdly, he says they do this in the verse with in-game systems and stuff like that. No, they don't, dude. They have a website online doing it. They organize this stuff in Discord, just like GrieferNet's infiltrating you on Discord. So let's break this down. So these events don't occur naturally. So these events are pre-planned, just like GrieferNet is pre-planning these hits. They're simply both role-playing different sides of the coin.
Very nice outfit, sir. I do admire the hat on
Who called for a bartender?
Thank you, sir. Now let's rewind here all the way up until after the 890 got torped. All right, now pause. Now what's notable is the people who got banned were not just people who had GrieferNet listed as their org on RSI, but anyone who typed GrieferNet Victory in global chat. In fact, there was a member who just got on the server, was getting out of their hab, typed GrieferNet Victory, and yep, they got a ban too. The reason why we're asking CIG for a little bit more clarification is because what if I'm flying around the verse in my Eclipse and I just so happen to find an 890 jump and torp it and kill it, and it's full of a bunch of role player streamers? Am I now going to get banned? Like, that doesn't seem fair to me. I mean, does it seem fair to you? I'm very upset that people like Party Squid, who are completely unintelligent to this whole entire situation, are making videos just based off of feeling. Like, goddamn, dude, if I based my whole life off of feeling, I'd be broke, because I don't feel like going into work tomorrow. And shit, that's in like fucking 3 hours. Anyway, there's going to be a second video that's coming out that's extremely detailed, not like a 5-minute video that Party Squid had. It has emails that haven't been released, it has correspondence, it has comments from devs, and it has some shady stuff that actually the PvEers are doing, the role players are doing. So that's coming out soon. This was just a brief intro to all that. But before I go, I'm going to share with you some stuff Xylos said actually just tonight. As I'm recording this on the GrieferPub Podcast. Shout out to GrieferPub Podcast. Love you guys over at, what's their org name? G42. All right, so Xylo says PvP does not need to be organic or random. He also says no one is trigger happy in banning people. And if any group has pushed it too far, they would be engaged with discussion, not just outright kicked to the curb. Infiltration, espionage are fully intended to be a viable playstyle in StarCitizen. And guess what? There's going to be a lot of people upset when they realize this, because there's a lot of folks out there claiming griefing when it's not. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. Now, there's a lot of other stuff that Xylo said here tonight that you can find in the PAX Discord or the Grim42 Discord. I'll put a link below. I hope you check it out. But anybody posting stupid stuff, I'm going to come after you. GG's in advance. No one's safe.
I'm probably the best StarCitizen pilot in the universe.
Hacks, Night City.